Good morning, everybody. Who would have thought that we would all be in a room under one roof touching each other a few months back? Here we are, right? Uh, I come from the city of Nawabs, Hyderabad, and in the garden city, Bangalore. The fact is, both these cities are known for something completely different now. Landscapes are changing. Landscape are changing us as communities and economies are evolving. In the last 5 years, the businesses have been in constant state of turmoil. The risk has gone up because of unforeseen set of circumstances that have been hitting us. The response had to be rapid. The response had to be in a way where it mitigates risk. 2018 was a year of tariffs for US businesses. If some of you were reading news and some of you were over there, businesses had a set of questions in front of them. How do you respond to those tariffs? Do you absorb those tariffs? Do you pass on the cost to the customers? Should we absorb those? What does it mean for our bottom line? And how does it impact customer retention? How does it impact our shareholder sentiments? There are a lot of questions that US businesses were asking themselves. As the businesses found themselves in the middle of this ideological and political war zone, we saw in 2019 a great tragedy unfold in front of us. The response had to be something different because it was a unique event that none of us have seen in our lifetime. As brilliant minds came together to solve and find a solution for that, businesses also had to find their own way of surviving the event. If we learned anything from that pandemic, we are all very resilient as human beings. It's part of our DNA. And is resilience part of a business DNA that was put to test during these years? Businesses did not have a choice. If they were thinking about technology, adoption of technology, starting digital transformation programs, they did not have a choice. They had to quickly find talent. They had to get new tools, new technologies, new ways of thinking, because the customers became remote, employees became remote. How do you interact with your customers? How do you ship products? How do you source products? How do you reduce customer friction? These became the topics and needed a rapid response. And as the organizations started investing in these kind of topics, we got hit by supply chain issues. And as a new normalcy started setting into the supply chain, we started seeing recessionary trends, downturns, and all these. So these are these happened in rapid succession. Businesses did not have time to address one, take a breather, and get into addressing the next one. They had to have, so technology again was being adopted as a main driver as a response for all these things. A seasoned leader, if you think about it, right, a seasoned leader can dig so much into their past experience because the risk profile is different, right? Traditionally, you see risk from your competition, new competitors, evolving infrastructure, evolving technologies. Those are the traditional risks. These risks were different. So for a decision maker to survive through these times, data became their friend. They did not have a choice, right? So they needed data and insights. They needed it then. They needed it right there. And the reason why they needed it is because they had to make these decisions at a faster pace. And data helps you reduce the risk. So with that, Today, we'll explore how to become a data-driven organization. And a lot of times when you think about it, a lot of people have read about it, right, on internet and, and other places. What is your starting point? Where do you start from? And it all starts with the culture. It starts right there. The place to start is you need to have a vision. Every organization has some form of data analytics. Some organizations call it business intelligence. Whatever the term that you use in your organization, there's a leader. That leader has to be the visionary who starts this. You start with a vision. You have to have a strategy which can be converted into a plan. If you don't have the vision, it is very difficult. Your gut might tell you that you're doing the right thing, but how do you get the leadership on board? Getting that leadership buy-in is key. You have to have a vision that they can see, that they feel like should be invested in. And what I would advise everybody is have a strategy in place on how you are going to realize that vision. Meet your top leaders. Talk to them about the why. Why is this like in a question? Why should we do this? And for you to talk, you need to have the next level of details to make sure that they know why is this important. Because you need to have some investment in it. It doesn't come cheap. You need to invest probably in technologies, platforms. You need scalable platforms to get through that. And create an elevator pitch so that every time you are in front of audience, every time you're speaking at some place, you need to have a crisp message for them so that it resonates with them. And you should be able to articulate in a short amount of time, be that salesperson. Finally, you need to tell them, how does it help the organization? This is all great. Everybody is reading this in the news. But how does it help your specific organization is something that you need to be able to articulate, be able to explain. The last thing is, don't stop with your top leaders. Go north, go south, go west, go east. Sell it across the organization. Sell your ideas. Sell the what, why now, what next. Have that plan in place. You may not have all the details. That's okay. You have to start somewhere. And as you think through that, you also need to perhaps sell, if you're already an organization who are not using modern operating models, modern delivery methods, build that into that story of how you would deliver, what operating models do you need to put in place to get this done. Like we said, it all starts with the culture. So for you, the very wrong thing to do to establish this data-driven culture at an organization is to be led by an IT person. How many people in your organizations really trust IT, right? I mean, they do trust you because, you're helping them be successful, run the business, but, how can you tell a story, right, that can resonate with a business person? It is very difficult. There will be one person in your organization at a senior director, VP, or some CXO level who has always been passionate about this topic. There is one person in every organization. Find who that person is. He or she will be your best friend in this journey. The culture has to be driven by business. Culture cannot be driven by IT. IT can support the culture. IT cannot create the culture. I'm trying to tell this in a few different ways so that you all remember, right? So as you start thinking about forming or creating this data-driven culture in your organization, what does it mean? What it means is that people need to start thinking about decision making based on data, no more gut feeling. The set of circumstances that we're all living in is different. We've not seen these kind of things before. So they have to use data and insights. That is one aspect of it. How do you create that ownership of data in the business? How do you make sure that data becomes available to them? How do you make sure that they have the right skills to even start using the data? So leadership is key. As you do this, the prioritization will naturally fall into prioritization. And as we talked about, you do need a set of new operating model, a new organization structure. Think about what that right operating model and organization structure for you is. And finally, GCCs. During COVID, many global capability centers have started in response of finding the right talent at a rapid pace. Fortunately, we have a set of seasoned leaders. Most of you are in this room. And the math equation for us today is you have great engineering talent in India. You have a set of very seasoned leaders. And then it becomes a recipe for innovation and transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.